Welcome to the interviewer with Beef Tech. My name is Beef Tech. My guest today, Maryjo Carlson. She's an actress, she's a casting director, she's a producer, she's does it all. Some filmmaker. She recently casted the whole cast of American Woman. She did a fantastic job of that. Please give a warm welcome to Maryjo.
The interviewer with Beef Tech.
Maryjo, thanks for coming to the show. What's going on? How you doing?
Oh, I am doing terrific, Artie. Thanks for inviting me. How are you?
Pretty good. What's going on? You got any? Let's give me your background a little bit for the audience to
Okay.
get
My
to know you.
background is I have a 30-year theater background, so I've been more used to doing theatrical work, which I've enjoyed thoroughly. 4 years ago or so, I retired and I got into background work and doing some indie films. And about 2 years ago, how has it been 2 years already? I met you, and the rest is history.
So the theater work, what was did you act in the theater or what was
I acted and directed,
acted
and
and directed? Okay.
and I did backstage work as well.
What kind of backstage work are we talking about?
Oh, we're talking property mistress, we're talking lighting, we're talking stage crew, we're talking building sets. Back in the day when I could do that, that's what I did.
Yeah.
So a little bit of everything.
Have you done any plays lately or anything?
No, lately I have not. So
What kind of stuff have you been involved in lately?
lately I've done, let's see, a couple of weeks ago, I was in Indiana and did a film. No words. It was totally by using expression only, and it was wonderful. I had a great time doing that. I played a matriarch of a family in her later years, kind of reminiscing about her life and her grandchild and her family. So that was really nice. And I had to convey all that without saying a word.
So was it a silent film or just you just didn't have any lines?
I just didn't have any lines. So
Okay. What was
it was based on the director's personal experience, I guess his own grandmother before she passed. So it was kind of a personal experience for him.
what was the movie about? It was grandma?
Right. What it was is basically it shows her getting up in the morning, starting her day, looking at a picture of her granddaughter, and then it goes into a day at the beach, one of her happier memories. And then it also has her reminiscing with a photo album, going through pictures, and it ends with her death. She dies, and the granddaughter is with her. So it's that poignant little um, scene with the granddaughter. So that was it. That was fun. So I enjoyed that.
No, was it yeah, a little bit of was it inside or outside shoot? And
Both. It was inside, and then we went to the beach, okay, in
beach?
Indiana. And it was so cold.
Was
All
it?
right.
Did you have
It
cold water?
was freezing. And it was just like 3 weeks ago. I mean, both days were gorgeous. They were in the 70s, but we went to the beach and it got later in the afternoon. And when you go to the beach and there's water and the lakefront and all that. So it got kind of chilly. Everybody's in their jackets, and here I am, okay, in my sweater, and like, okay, can we hurry up with this shoot? But no, it was good. The people I worked with were great, and I met a person I hadn't worked with in a while, so it was kind of nice too.
That's good. That's yeah.
And then about the premiere coming up, so that was another
Yeah,
one.
let's talk about this premiere. What's the movie and what's the deal?
Okay, it's called The Bludgeoning, and
Yeah.
it's going to be premiered at the York Theater in Elmhurst on the 21st of June. And it's one of those movies that, how you go on a set and you just have your specific scene. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, I don't know what's going on I mean, I know what's going on, but wasn't there when everything was filmed. So I play a doctor of demonology, and I guess there's this creature that comes back to haunt this town. And it's the whole effort of trying to get rid of this creature. So I'm the one that the heroine comes to see, and this is my problem, and can you talk to me about this person? And and it turns out that the doctor's grandfather is the one that originally put the demon down, but the demon is back. So now it's kind of come full circles where she's passing on the torch, so to speak, to this young woman to take over and get rid of the demon. So that's kind of basically what it's about. So
How is are you in a lot of what's your character?
I not in a lot of it. I will admit that, which is fine. There's a scene at the beginning where I'm in my office and she comes to see me. I would say that's about maybe about 2 minutes or so. I can't judge it. So it's not very long. It's the introductions, and they talk to each other and she tells her about the demon and things of that nature. And then the next part I'm in is where she meets up with the girl again after she's been, I think, I'm not sure, she's been attacked or whatever, and they talk a little bit and she goes through her mumbo jumbo of trying to exorcise a demon or whatever she's doing. So that's the other little part that I'm in. So
That's good. Yeah. Well, I can't wait to. I'm going to go to the premiere, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. Uh,
yeah, I think so. I think so.
yeah, that's yeah. Do you have any other movies that are going to do some premiere stuff?
Um, yes. There's one called, and I can't really, it hasn't been released yet, so it's kind of like it's got the premiere date in a couple weeks. It's called FN FMN in short, which Forget Me Not is what it's called,
Okay.
and it deals with Alzheimer's, and I'm the doctor in that particular movie, so throughout the I'm throughout the film. And that's going to be premiered on the 18th and 19th of June, I believe. One's going to be in Elgin, and one's going to be at McHenry. One's going to be at like Elgin Community College. The other one's going to be at McHenry Community College. So it's that kind of a thing. And I don't know any more basics than that. So I'm looking forward to seeing that, to see how it all comes together. We've been working on that for probably a year and a half. I probably told you a little bit about it during,
Okay.
American Woman. So,
Um, now, let's talk about American Woman a little bit here about your role.
okay.
You were the casting director. How was that? What's the process of that
The
sort of thing?
process, okay. The process in my case for the casting director is trying to look at your script and trying to think of who I felt would be right for the different parts. And I mean, my mind just went boom, 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 boom to certain people that um, I could see pictured. Um, when I was casting and directing community theater, I was very comfortable with casting. It wasn't an issue. People didn't agree with my casting because I look at it a little different, I think, than probably another director would. But when I cast Joe, for instance, I mean, it was mobster. It was no questions asked. And then same way with Larry Biela. There was no questions asked. And then Larry suggested Frank, which was awesome because of the three of them who were your three major protagonists, I guess you would say, it was perfect. They melded together, they worked together, and that's always a good feeling when you cast people that gel, because then the film comes off so much better. And then when we got Caitlin, that was really a godsend in that respect too. And she was just kind of like the glue that got everybody together, and it worked. So
So,
that's how
like
I cast.
when you cast, it's like plays and stuff. Did you use that kind of like that route um, training to do a movie type of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I cast for plays, well, that's a musical. You got to take in the feature. Like my one experience, I was telling you about that. You don't always agree with the producer or whatever. Sound of Music, and I did my research at Sound of Music Maria did not look like Julie Andrews. Maria was a milkmaid. She was plain. She was simple. She was a peasant woman. Okay. So in my mind, I did not want a gorgeous Maria. So I had two actors, actresses. One was classically trained, beautiful, gorgeous, singing, but she was stiff. And I knew she wouldn't give me the emotions that I wanted. The second actress who I did cast was a little plainer, but beautiful voice, beautiful personality. And she melded with the guy that was a cap that we had as the captain, who happened to be classically trained. So the first thing that went in my mind was I can't have two classically trained actors. I wouldn't get anywhere with either of them. So having
Why is that? Why?
classically trained, they think about the music, they think about the posture, they
Yeah,
don't think about the character. All
yeah.
right. The
Like
emotions
a
in my
performance type of thought process
exactly.
versus a
In
kid.
my experience, their emotions came second. But when you do a production, and especially at Sound of Music, the emotions have to come first.
Yeah,
I really feel that there has to be a chemistry between the leads. So, the producer and I kind of went back and forth on it. And then when the play was done, he was just kind of like, wow. He goes, I never saw that. And so he agreed with, what I had done with it. So that was kind of nice to actually be proven right. But casting is really hard. And what I tell people now is um, it's not a no to you. It's that you're not quite what I'm looking for. And I get that too. I still get rejection and stuff like that. And then I always get the nice letter now that says, oh, you were great. We're going to keep your information, but we went in a different direction, which is nicer than saying, you suck or whatever.
yeah.
But so that's kind of where I go with casting. I really kind of look at the whole, how everybody gets together and with the people that I brought together. I knew some of them I didn't know. And but the people that I did know also knew each other, and some of them had worked with each other before. So that's kind of like, you can see how that gels too with their past experiences. So
It seems like, you have to, I mean, acting is such a personal thing. It's like, if you don't want them, I don't know. It's hard to
yeah,
kind of
it is very personal, and the way you just said it, not if you don't want them, it's just kind of like it's a fine line because they're good, but they're just not right for that particular project, and it's hard because I don't like rejection, but I understand it. And people
yeah,
will ask me all the time, aren't you upset? And I go, no. I said, to me, it's a learning experience. I go, you're not rejecting Mary Jo. All right. You're rejecting something in how I did the character or how I interpreted it or how I look or I'm too old or I'm too young or I'm, too fat or too thin or whatever it is. I said, you're not rejecting me. And it's true when the actors say you have to have a thick skin because you do. You can't wear it on your sleeve. You can't get upset when you're rejected because the rejection is not personal. And I always say that it's not personal. It's just that you're just not kind of what I'm looking for right now. But I could use you possibly in a project down the line, so that keeps their hope up. That keeps you, talking with them as well. So,
well, how do you keep the endurance up? I mean, you have been doing it for how many years now? 40 years, you said?
yeah, I did theater for 30.
30.
And what's different about theater is if it's a musical, like a major musical with singing, dancing, like Joseph, which I've been in, and We Will Rock You, which is a Queen musical and stuff like that. It takes your energy. You do it 2 to 3 months,
Yeah,
3 or 4 nights a week rehearsals, and these are like, you have your music rehearsals, you have your choreography rehearsals, and then you put it all together. You have your blocking rehearsals, and then so for theater it was like Monday was music, Tuesday was choreography, Wednesday was blocking, and then Saturday afternoons we put it all together. So I mean that's a good chunk of your life for what, 2 weekends,
yeah.
and then and then it's done. Where
That's,
film is kind of the worst you can do is, you're 16 or 17 hours on set, and that's your worst thing. But if you're lucky enough, it's captured. Like American Woman, I have to tell you, I'm so proud of that. It's going to be there forever. It's going to be on it's going to be somewhere forever, and you can always look back at it and say, "Wow, I did that. I'm proud of that work."
it's going to be on the Maryjo network soon because you're going to get your
Oh, yeah, right.
own. uh,
Yeah,
uh,
right.
well, my point was, did you take a break over this? Did you have a break? Did you do it constantly for all those years, or did you take a break?
In theater, yes. In theater, I did it constantly, and that was probably, if you look at it, was probably 3 to 4 plays a year, which takes up your life. Um, when it's a straight play, like no music or dancing, it's a little less rehearsal.
But you haven't taken a break for the 40 years now, or
Well, I did. Once I figured that I didn't want to act, or it gets to you, then I said, I need to break. I need to get back to family and really need to kind of, settle a little bit, which I did. Then I had my own theater company for a little bit in Warrenville, WMC Productions. And I became more of the director there. So the director was easier for me because I didn't feel as pressured. And then the last production that I did, I was a producer. And the girl that had been my director for the past couple of plays all of a sudden decided that, because she helped me the first time that she was actress and I was a producer, she helped me get through things. But the last time she said no, she goes, I'm only directing. So she kind of threw me under the bus, you might say. And I was like, okay. And I'd had it. And I told everybody at the end, I said, I quit. I'm not doing this anymore. So I did. I hadn't done any theater anymore after that. COVID hit. Um, a friend I had met on the last production said, why don't you go to 4 Star? Maybe be an extra. Because I was an extra a long, long, long time ago. Chain Reaction with Keanu Reeves was the first time I was an extra. And I remember that and I loved it. And I said, okay. So I applied to 4 Star. And, again, it took about a year or so during COVID. And then I got, would you be interested in this? We'd like to. I was like, okay. So I said yes. And so for a year and a half, I did a lot of extra work. I was really busy and I really enjoyed it. And then now it's kind of like I get from people, you're always busy. How do you find work? I go, oh, I submit, I see it on Facebook, or people like you, or people like will say, hey, how about Maryjo? Or how about why don't we try this? Or why don't we do this? So it's the networking that you do. And
yeah,
that's kind of what happens.
yeah.
So so right now my break is I only, it looks like I'm doing a lot, but it's like, a weekend here, a weekend there. It's not, how do I
How
say it?
you
It's not
post?
constant.
You keep that weekend. You keep it kind of posting all week long, and
Yeah.
like super busy. Uh, that's the trick. The trick of the trade.
There you go. Shush, shh, you found my secret.
Don't tell anybody. Um. Okay. Oh God, I'm kind of okay. I might have to edit this part out.
Okay.
Um. So. Um. Okay. This is gonna get edited because I lost my train of thought here.
Sorry.
Okay. No, I lost my train of thought. What else do we want to talk about? Hold on here. Um, yeah, I'll just keep it rolling. Let's cut it.
American Woman, Buggy,
I
Larry.
just I lost my train of thought. I was on a roll. Uh, sorry, Mary Jo. This doesn't
No,
happen
Artie,
anymore.
that's okay.
God, I usually can keep on going. I'm staggered right now. Let me think of another question. Hold on.
Okay.
Um, oh yeah, let's talk about some other movies. All right, everybody, we're back. Let's talk about. I don't know if you've seen this I think his name is Bill Redding. He's
Yes.
he's got a movie, Bob's Best Friends. It's about
With the
dogs.
dogs.
I just saw the trailer for it. It looks pretty good. Um, what do you think? Have you seen anything about this movie?
I haven't seen it. I know some of the people in it. And I did meet him once or twice. I think I submitted for that one, but that was one of the ones that I didn't get didn't get any thing back from because I love dogs too. But yeah, so no, I've seen it, so I do want to see it.
It
I
looks
know two couple of people.
really, they used I mean, technical arty over here. They used a crane on a crane shot. I saw the trailer for it, and production looks really well done, and it
Mhm.
looks actually like a really kind of a one of those movies that kind of makes you feel good, you know. I messaged
Absolutely.
Bill and just gave him the distributor's information. My distributor, I don't know if you had one or not, but our distributor. Yeah, so that's one movie I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to seeing your movie, and this other one called Vic Effects. Have you heard about this one?
I've seen it on Facebook, but that's the one that Caitlin's promoting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they're gonna be in a theater to do a real premiere. And I told Caitlin, I talked to her the other day. I told her that I'm gonna go to it, like, because I'm actually a big fan of this director. I don't know if you've seen Evil Lurks. Um, wow, it was really, really good. I saw it on Fossum. Um, anyway, those are the kind of the independent ones I'm looking forward to seeing right now. Do you have anything that you're working on? Any other projects that are in the works?
Uh, I just finished House of Tea, which is
Yeah.
with Nita K Productions, and he's in the editing process. We're hoping to get it on Halloween released. We're going to have a premiere I think, for us. I don't know if she wants to have a premiere in a theater or if she just has, a premiere for the cast only or what she wants to do. But it was fun. I'm getting this horror genre all of a sudden already.
Hey, that's
Um,
where the work is.
I know, which is
I
fine
think
with
there's probably
me.
way more horror movies that are being made than any other genre, to tell you the truth.
Which is great,
Yeah.
and it's funny, I shouldn't say, but it's on my bucket list to get bloody, which you helped me with a little bit light and buggy. But I mean, I've got a script. Hopefully, I'm not going to say much about it because I think I've got the part, but that is not, I can't find a non-gory scene in it. It's
Yeah.
kind of like imagine Cabin in the Woods updated, all right, which I loved. I loved Cabin in the Woods. It's got the same premise, with the young couple and the jock and everything else in it. But so that's in the works. I have another one in the works that's not a horror, and and then I have one with Luciano, like a Christmas project, hopefully. And that's, we
Oh,
got to get together with that. So I think you're going to be involved in that one too.
Christmas Project. Oh, those. Those are
Yeah, those
fun.
are fun. But
Especially
that's
when you got
kind
all
of
the
where I'm at now.
costumes ready to go. You load it up
I,
with the costumes. You want to do the Christmas stuff. You know,
oh, I know. And I've got the Mrs. Claus outfit, so I'm fine.
I know you're
Like
probably just dying to do Christmas stuff with that outfit. You want to
I am, that's
get
the
some use out of
hello,
it.
anybody out there need a Mrs. Claus
Yeah.
or an evil Mrs. Claus or
Evil. You could do a scary. I mean, I've seen some, over the years, like, Killer Santa or something like that. They do like a scary movie of a Santa
I can
Claus.
see your wheels turning, Artie.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. So that's kind of
well,
where I'm at.
yeah. Well, that's awesome. Cool. I think that well, thanks for being on the show. And
You're welcome.
yeah. All right. Thank you. Whoa, guys, I was just kidding. We're back with Maryjo here. I was just joking around. We just want to touch on the fact that the casting process. Go ahead, Maryjo.
Okay, the casting process for American Woman was after you sent me the script and your description of the characters. What I did with American Woman, because it's the way we had worked in the past, is I went through each name and tried to think of actors that I knew. Now, this doesn't normally work for cast, but I tried to pick actors that I knew that would fit the characters. So then you and I talked, and I said, this person because of this person because of that. And you knew some of the people. So American Woman was kind of a very personal thing, I think is what I want to say. Like I mentioned before, there were like three actors that stood out to me that I always wanted to work with. And well, the third one I was introduced to, but I always wanted to work with them. And they were the nucleus, and then I built around them. Um, some people were an accident that found by accident. I was going to use them as a mobster, like Luciano, and he turned out to be our camera person instead. Very talented gentleman who I enjoyed meeting and working with. So it was great to see these people, to have their names, to have their connections, to have their information. So what started off as a hodgepodge of people that I kind of knew and put into place turned into a real cohesive cast.
Well, that's the
So
thing that maybe, let's just talk to some of these, people that are just starting or like kind of dabbling in it. Casting is actually really, really important to make a movie work. And a lot
right,
of people just, everyone wants to be the director, everyone wants to
to be the
direct.
lead.
And it's like, I don't even know. I mean, everyone wants to be a cinematographer. They don't want to do the sound. They don't want
Mhm.
to do the editing. They don't want to cast to be the casting director. And I think that, these roles are probably, if you build a good foundation, they build a foundation of the movie, the casting directors and the script as well. And, for young people, just remember that when you're making a movie, casting is super important. Anything
Mhm.
you want to add about telling maybe a young movie, filmmaker about casting?
Okay. When you cast, you've got lot of things to consider that I know you know, but always when you cast, also consider, and then this sounds, I guess it's the mother in me or the mom in me, consider their feelings, tell them exactly what you want from them, in a way that they can understand. Now, if you're a new actor coming from an actor's point of view, you'll have questions. And if you go into an audition or you go into a self tape is what you normally submit to the casting director, which our next movie we will do that. But you normally submit a self tape. Once you do your self tape, or even before, the director will usually say, this is what I want. If you have questions, ask me. If you have questions, ask them. Because you might get a self tape, you might get says, okay, you're a young man in your 30s and you've just lost your job and yada yada, and it's affecting your home life. You might say, well, okay, what kind of a job did I have? Do I have any kids? This will all shape how you do your self tape. So, as an actor and as a casting director, make sure that you're clear on what you want from these people. I mean, that's what I go through, and I've
Word,
I,
word.
I even had questions, and I'd say, some people will say, don't ask them questions. Well, ask them nicely. Don't say, I think I want to do this character like this. Right away, that's going to be a no. Thank you very much, but we're going a different direction. But if you say, I have an idea, could I try this? They might say, okay, let's try it. Let me see what you do with it. And a lot of that will come, some of that will come after your self tape. Let's say if you submitted and you're one of the people they're considering, that Zoom call that you have is very important because you've got to show them you. You can't put on any airs. You can't come on like, what did you think about my character? Blah, 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 blah. No, you got to come yourself because that director will know if you're BSing. They will know. They've gone through enough interviews. They've gone through enough actors and actresses. They've had enough years of experience. And if you're new, you'll get to know it too. So be yourself. That's what for my actors, be yourself, tell them honestly. And even at this callback, if you have questions, ask. Because the director or the casting director will be there and they'll say, do you have questions? If you don't have questions, then okay, fine, that's fine. If you have questions, ask them. Because I went through one self-tape that I submitted, and the guy called me back and he said, he goes, okay, I want you to try. And I didn't know what the play was about at the time, what the film was about. And he goes, I want you to try it this way. I want you to try it like you're scared. Read the same lines like, okay, I'm entering the house now. I'm entering the house now. I'm entering the house now. I'm entering the house. They'll have you try it different ways. Number one, to see what you can do. Number two, to see if you follow directions. Number three, to see if you're listening. So, and I had it done, and he went through all these things, and I was cast, so I was like very happy. And that one hasn't come out yet, but I'll let you know when it does. But that's what you have to go. So that's my advice to any film directors or actors. Just, listen to each other. It's very important to communicate.
That makes sense. You got to communicate, and it's important with anything you do, to tell you the truth.
Right.
That's what people get confused about. If there's not good communication, then people get mad and they don't understand. But
yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot. This is we're gonna end it for real. Thanks, Maryjo.
Artie, thank you.
And it's actually Beef Tech. That's my name.
Oh, Beef Tech, thank you.
No problem. Okay. Thanks, guys.
The Interviewer with Beef Tech.